You'll know when you have a wild woman. She'll practice her craft without boundaries. She is truly autonomous. Her loyalty is only to the family she serves, a midwife who will not allow herself to be held back by a system she didn't create.
This podcast is for the birth keepers who want to grow and change. We are open to learning through self-reflection and supportive community. We are creating this space to explore without judgment. We are remembering we were
Born wild. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Born Wild podcast. It's just me today, Sophia. I am going to be sharing with you today the very first recording interview I ever did before we even started the podcast. I was interviewing birth professionals in our area for my YouTube channel before I got the idea to do a podcast. So today I'm sharing with you a recording of Aly and Becca, who are two birth and postpartum doulas in our Sonoma County area of California. So enjoy the show. Hi, Becca. Hi, Aly.
Hi, Sophia.
Thanks for joining me on the Sophia show.
Sophia's personal meeting room.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to do an interview, and I wanted to do it with you two first for a couple of reasons. I've had personal and business relations with both of you, and we have a little endeavor we're going to be embarking on together, and that's secret still. But I wanted to talk to you two today and just talk birth, very like casual, candid, but I also have really tricky questions for you.
Not to put us on the spot or anything.
Yeah. So to start, just maybe say a little bit about you and what brought you to birth and how long you've been doing there, whatever details you'd like to give out.
We'll go in A-B order. So Aly, you're first.
Okay, I'm Aly. I've been a birth doula for 6.5 years. I got into birth way before that, though. My family raised miniature golden doodles, and so I grew up being the midwoof and staying up all night with dogs having their puppies. So I've always been fascinated and just love the magic of birth. And after I had my first baby is when I heard about doulas, and that's how I got into the doula stuff.
Cool. I'm Becca, and I have been a doula for about 5 years now, and kind of a fluke that I even became one, but I love every part of it, and I can't imagine doing anything else. It's been quite the journey, and always a pleasure working with you, Sophia, and Aly.
You guys get to work together? So I guess we didn't mention it. You guys are partners.
Correct.
So, I mean, I'm curious how that works. Like, you wouldn't go to the same birth together. You guys have like a rotating call, or how is it working?
We're partners in the best way. We have our own businesses, but we have, we're each other's solid backup. We both kind of have the same idea of birth and what it means to our families, and so it's really easy, I think, to step into each other's roles if needed. So it's pretty new for us, so we're still feeling everything out, but everything feels good. Wouldn't you say, Aly? Wouldn't you say?
Follow the prompt at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, it's great. Yeah, no, Becca and I are, I think, very similar in our personality and the way that we doula, and so being partners has just come like naturally. We work together well, and covering for each other and our clients it's great. Yeah.
Nice. Have you had to support each other in a backup role? I mean, I know it's new, and with COVID, I don't even know how busy you are right now. Doulas are not allowed in a lot of hospitals, so.
We've done some backup as far as calls, like I'm going to be gone for a couple hours here. Can you be on call? Prior to us partnering, we backed each other up, both in postpartum and in birth.
Before we were official.
Yeah.
Facebook official. Okay, now on to the really tricky questions. One thing I wanted to ask was, in hindsight, in your doula career, like looking back, what is something that you experience now that really surprised you that you didn't think was really going to be part of your career? Like for me, sometimes as a midwife, I'm like, and probably as a doula, I'm like, I didn't expect to be a therapist as much as I am, like little things like that. Like what part of the job were you like, wow, I thought it was going to be easier or harder or anything like that? Something that's just surprised you over the years.
Do you want to go first still, Al?
Of course she does.
You guys.
Maybe you can take it, Becca.
I know, honestly, I think the most surprising thing for me is that there really isn't anything that I don't like. Like I love the nature of unpredictability of birth. I am really fascinated with body stuff, so like that doesn't bother me.
The fluids.
Yeah, water breaking on me. Like I was like, this is kind of fun and cool. So yeah, there isn't really anything that I dislike, and I think that's the most surprising thing, which is pretty cliche. But
was there something that you expected to be grossed out by or not like, or?
I think I expected to be grossed out by poop, and I'm not.
It's true fact.
Yeah. I think being a mom like numbs you to that.
It did. Yeah, I think it numbed me.
Yeah.
Although my husband is not numbed by that.
Which just means
they usually aren't.
That's
funny. That's funny.
Becca?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Aly. I didn't even think about that. That's pretty, spot on. I think the biggest thing for me was getting used to balance. It's like going all in, because you do as a doula, finding that balance. I think the 24/7, the therapy, so to speak, like you said, just being accessible. I love every aspect of it, but it took me a little bit to kind of find my balance and how to balance what my passion was and the love of what I was doing with my family and having a life, because it's really easy to kind of, be treading water just fine, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, that was a little bit getting used to. I think also not being able to incorporate my family's from such an intimate moment of being their birth doula into the rest of my life. It's like there's days that I'm just like, oh God, I should reach out to this person, or, oh, it's the baby's birthday, and it's like, where is my limitation line? It's like, I don't want to be stalker. No. But yeah, I think it is, because it's heart work. I have, my heart is full in, so. Yeah.
Speaking of limitations, are there any moments where you feel like your hands are tied as a doula, or what you can and can't do that are really frustrating for either of you?
I think we've all run into frustrations. I think anytime, that we're advocating for someone, yet we don't have a voice, can set ourselves up for limitations and frustrations. But we found ways to navigate it and get through it, and we have a solid community to talk about things and vent things to help us be better birth workers.
Anything to add, Aly? Is there any stories or anything, any moments where you felt that you wish you could do more?
I think very similar to Becca. Sometimes you wish you could say something that you can't. But most of the time, I think that with preparation with my clients and kind of reminding them of the BRAIN acronym and all those things. I do feel really good when my clients feel so empowered that they're able to speak what they need and want, and to really push for that. I had a client, they had a scheduled cesarean, and they really wanted to have baby skin to skin in the OR, and then afterwards the baby room in with them, and they got a lot of pushback from the hospital because it's not policy, especially the rooming in part, because they would need to have a separate nurse for the baby and another nurse for the birthing mom. So it was awesome to see them like really standing firm and like, this is what we want, and we're not like going anywhere from not going any other path. Like, this is it. And like, we're not going into the OR for a cesarean until this is set, because this is what we want. So
And did
yeah, that kind of stuff is pretty awesome.
Did they get that? What they wanted?
They did. They got exactly what they wanted.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Have you been attending like in person many births since COVID? I know that some of the hospitals have gone back and forth with allowing dualism, but I know there's also home birth. Has it been virtual support or in-person support, or does it look like since the lockdown?
It's been virtual so far, and Memorial is starting to allow doulas. So I have one client who may give birth at Memorial, and then another at the birth center. So those two I'll be able to be in-person support.
Yeah, and I've had a combination of both, virtual, but actually being able to spend time with them in the home before they head to the hospital. So it's been very interesting. It's really, you talk about frustration, spending this time with this family and then having to drop them off at the door at the hospital and, leave them. And then it's a virtual thing. And I would have to say the virtual has been really surprising for me. I'm shocked at how well it's gone. I was really like nervous and confused, like how can I possibly give them the support they need? And it's just really worked out, and it's been awesome. But I still want to get back in. And like Aly said, Memorial is now allowing doulas to come with a certification per client. And I have one coming up, and then a home birth, which is awesome because it's been start to finish, or soon to be finished. So yeah, virtual's been, I'm ready to get back in the thick of it, and bleary-eyed from lack of sleep. Although I have to say it's really kind of cool to be at a birth and when it is virtual, to go home and put your bathrobe on and have your snacks right there and just be like, I got you. Okay, what are we doing? It's been pretty awesome. Yeah.
I know. I feel I've been really blessed that I haven't had to transfer any clients since lockdown. So
Wow,
the idea of not having to go with them, it just was, even sadder than a normal transfer would be. But yeah, hopefully that streak just keeps going. Are there any stories, like when I'm meeting with clients and they bring up something or a topic's brought up, and I always have like these little stories where I'm like, oh, well, I had a client once who, and obviously it's anonymous, but there's like my go-to stories because there's like certain things that are asked frequently. Do you have any of those, or just births that have really stood out to you over the years that you think about often, or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Aly, you gonna go first?
No, you go, Becca.
Okay. One of my go-tos, and this is like one of my absolute favorite stories. I have so many, but a hypnobirthing client who first time mama, and we worked on visualizations, and it was amazing. I mean, the visualizations were just this like forest floor with the smells and the filtered light and the green and the trees and the path and the hills that we would come up when we were coming to something difficult. And we had worked on those, and it was so beautiful. Like I would drop in with her because we had done it so many times. And I forgot to say, she was 100% vegan. So it relates. Okay. So we're laboring, we're doing great. And she's in transition, and she's like, really close, 9, maybe close to 10 centimeters. And she reaches out for me and she's like, Becca, I can't do this. And I'm like, I know, honey, I know you're doing this. You're so great. We're almost there. And she's like, no, it's not that. My forest turned into a hamburger and I can't get past the hamburger. And I'm just like, oh my God, honey. Okay. We got the hammer. And so I switched it up and we went through the lettuce and the green of the lettuce and the red of the tomato. And we got to the sesame seed bun and we just started counting the sesames, and she made it through. But it was just like, it was so funny to me that her body took her to this place of this giant hamburger instead of her tranquil forest. And what makes it funny is that she was a vegan. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. So the moral is, your body and your mind and everything that's involved with laboring will take you where it needs to go to get you through. And it happened to be sesame seeds.
And there was enough layers, literally,
yes,
to work your way through.
We could work past that meat, no problem. But then there wasn't such thing as the Impossible Burger, because I would have nailed it with the Impossible Burger, but no.
That's cute.
That's funny. I think my go-to births typically are ones that there were obstacles or things that were unexpected in the birth, and that they got through them and still had this amazing, birth. So one of them was a 4-day long induction. And this mom powered through the entire thing. No pain medication, no epidural. And at the end, she pushed for 3 hours. And the doctor said, I don't think this baby's going to be born vaginally. I'm recommending a cesarean. And so he left and we talked. And there was a nurse there. And the nurse was like, I think you should try one more position, because sometimes this works. And so the nurse and I got her in this really strange position. It was like, okay, we're going to do 2. It was like leaning back, one leg up. I had never even what? Okay, let's try it. And so 3 contractions in this position, and then she started pushing again, and that baby was born. It was amazing. And the doctor came back in, and my client was like, yeah.
Was she
edit black
flat on her back?
Here.
Was she flat on her back with her legs dangling off something?
No.
Welchers? Mm-hmm. No. I've heard that one's a really good one.
I have a feeling we've had that same nurse, Aly. I have
she
a feeling.
was a traveling nurse. But she was awesome. And the other surprising part of this birth was that she had music for her birth. Mm-hmm. And so she had this tranquil music on the whole labor. And then her partner was like, do you want me to put the pushing music on? And she was like, yeah. And he turned the pushing music on, and it was this really loud rap music that had profanities in every other word. So yeah, it was great. But it was an epic birth in which they had to battle through so many obstacles, and at the end they did it.
Yeah.
Warriors.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great.
Well, thank you both for joining me. I love talking with you. I'm glad we got your audio working, Aly. I was telling her that I was gonna voice in her answers. Thanks for asking, Sophia.
You sound like Olaf. That's a good Olaf impression.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's entertainment for my children. No. Great. Well, good to see both of you, and hope to have you both soon.
Okay. Bye, love.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for listening. You can find us at Born Wild Podcast on Instagram. For inquiries or feedback, you can email us at bornwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can find me, Emma Ray, on Instagram at Emma Ray, REA.
Sophia at sophiabirth.com.
And me, Leah, at Bay Area Home Birth.
We would really appreciate it if you would rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps us reach more people. And as always, stay wild.